are talking about something really important, and I want you guys to be listening in because I know what it's like when you have goals and you know that you're designed to do something awesome and all of that, but the overwhelm, or even I'm just going to say the mundaneness of regular life kicks in, and before you know it, we're just doing the same thing day after day, month after month, and then year after year, right? I was in that position. I had great ideas, and I will say I was running my business knowing that there were other things that I really wanted to pursue, and I would put some energy in, but there was no momentum, right? There was no excitement. There was no big thing pushing me to get this bigger dream done. So today we're going to talk about the one question, right? Just one question that I want you to consider for yourself that will help to stimulate momentum, stimulate that excitement, bring back those creative juices so that you can feel again on fire for what you're trying to create in your life and in your business. So definitely stay with me today because you don't want to miss this, especially since it's just one thing. It's just one thing. So thank you guys for joining me. This is Win the Day. I am Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. I'm a business coach, and my entire intention is to motivate more women to break the 100K income ceiling in your business. When I started this, I learned this statistic in, I'm going to say 2018, 2019, that there was only 18% of women that were able to have business revenue that exceeded 100K. Now, I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, so $100,000 here does not go that far. I will just be honest, it doesn't. So it bothered me that there were so many women, and I get it that you can say, oh, well, my metropolitan area is more affordable. But the reality is, as a woman and as a business owner, we put so much of ourselves into our business, into our families, into our spouses, into so many other things that I just felt like listening to these low statistics of how many women were reaching a decent income, in my opinion, was so small is because we don't understand how we can actually customize our life, how we can actually have the things that we want, inclusive of the business revenue. So that has been my mission. And in 2018, 2019, that number was 18%. And that was enough to light a fire under me to say, oh, this has to end, right? And I set a BHAG, which is what we're going to be talking about today, to really empower 500,000 women to attain over $100,000 in business revenue. Primarily because I felt like that was a number that could start to change your situation, start to change your business, change your home life, change a lot of things for you. So that is my mission, right? However, a few years later, where we are today, that number is dropping. Okay, I think we're at like 10%. So I do know that we've gone through a global pandemic. There's other factors. However, I believe that there's even more women right now who have a desire to change their lives, to live on purpose and be more intentional in their business pursuits. So that's what I'm here to do. And today, the thing that I'm going to help you do is to ask yourself, or to come up with this one question, to ask yourself this one question that will reignite in you the thing that you really want to get done. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you don't know me already, definitely go grab your notebook. This is my current notebook. It's almost done because I just love writing everything. grab your notebook and a pen because you're going to want to take some notes. If you're watching this as a replay, then just pause and get your stuff so that we can actually do this activity, right? Just one question. So, what is the question? What is the thing? What is this magical thing that's going to change you and give you that excitement back for your business? And is there really just one thing that can do all of that? And my response to you is yes. Yes, it is. And it includes even how I did this intro because I introduced the fact that I have a BHAG, right? Have any of you ever heard of a BHAG? And I do have the chat up. So if you're joining me live and you've heard of a BHAG, just type in the chat yes. You can just say yes, you've heard of it, or yes, you have a BHAG. If you've never heard of it, we're going to define it for you, and you're going to have one in the next few minutes, right? Or at least I'm going to challenge you to have one in the next few minutes. So a BHAG, do you have one? Do you know what it is? Drop a comment in the chat. Even if you're on replay, I want to see where you guys are at the beginning of this and then how excited you are at the end. So a BHAG, what is it? In general, this stands for a big, hairy, audacious goal. So it's literally the letters BHAG. This term was coined by Jim Collins in his book, Built to Last. And it has become something that is widely accepted for kind of business growth and to empower people in business, because what he described is the fact that we needed a big, hairy, audacious goal to keep us moving and to keep us excited and to keep us motivated to continue to build so that we can last and sustain in these businesses. As I started, it's easy. It's so easy for us to fall into a rut, to just get through the day. And to be honest with you guys, I'm here talking to you and we're talking about BHAGs, but I totally need this today. I needed this reminder because life will throw you curveballs and then you're there kind of stuck putting out fires versus understanding I'm putting out these fires with the understanding that I have bigger dreams and goals. I have bigger things that I'm trying to accomplish here. So that's where I want you to get back to. I am hoping that when the days really shake you out of your mundane, everyday, let's just get through the day type of mentality so that you start living a little more intentional and on purpose, right? So this BHAG is one of the things that's going to help you do that. So when I looked it up, a big, hairy, audacious goal, right? I looked up the word audacious because to me, that's like one of the big words that stands out in this statement. And the word audacious, I have my notebook. I told y'all to get y'all notebook. The word audacious stands for your willingness to take surprisingly bold risk, right? Clearly, you're not doing your everyday routine if you're actually considering what are these big, bold risks that I can take. And surprisingly big, bold risks, right? So during this Win the Day, I'm going to break down for you how you can do this. I'm going to give you some examples of how other companies have done this so that you can see how this really will keep you from being mundane and stuck in your everyday routine. But not only you, it will motivate other people to join in to what you are doing. So let's break this down with some examples. Big, hairy, audacious goals. A lot of companies use it. I'm sure if you look at any of the large companies that we can just, call by name, like especially one name like Bill Gates, I have his big, hairy, audacious goal, at least from when he first started his business. And that was the example here was he wanted a computer on every desk in every home. Well, today that sounds like, no brainer. I own 3 pieces of equipment myself, if we consider our laptops, our cell phones, and for others of us, we also have like tablets or some other third device, right? So most people, and at this point in time, that goal has been achieved. But what you have to understand is when he said this years and years ago, that's when computers had rooms. So I'm dating myself because I do remember seeing computer rooms, maybe at my mom's job or something like that. But I remember when computers were this big thing. So clearly, how the heck are you getting that computer room to be on every desk in every home? Like, what? And that's what a BHAG will do. It will help you to vision where you want your company to go. So I imagine that Bill Gates came up with this concept that we're going to revolutionize the computer. We're going to give people this power, this connection, I don't even know that he was totally talking about the internet at that time, right? But the point was, we're going to make sure that every person in their homes has access to this type of um, technology. That was his big goal. So that, if you think about it, had to be huge when you're looking at obstacles like he was. And I think at that time, maybe they had made the first like smaller computer, but he just had vision that it was going to be so powerful and compact and user friendly that what was it? A computer on every desk in every home. That's huge, right? Another one that I love is St. Jude's. Now, if you ever want to pull my heartstrings, talk about children and talk about their medical needs, or even children who are in other countries and they need support. That's where I give my charitable monies to. My husband is very much into like water and people having fresh water. And so those are the things that we donate to in charity. But I love the mission of St. Jude, and their BHAG is no child dies in the dawn of life. How powerful is that, right? I mean, even when you think of some of these BHAGs, it ignites it. You feel something when they say that, like no child dies in the dawn of life. Like clearly one company can't accomplish everything. And St. Jude said, you know what, this is our mission. And where they dive in, if you're not familiar with that organization, they are a children's cancer hospital. They literally, St. Jude alone, with their research, innovation, like everything that they've done, they've taken the childhood cancer survival rate from 4%. You see my fingers? 4% to 94%. Why? Because they had the BHAG to say, no child dies in the dawn of life. Oh my gosh, how powerful, right? Clearly, if they're only tackling cancer, they have made huge strides, right? And what I said was they continue to do cutting edge research. They are only focused on cancer. But if you think about it, if they have been able to focus on cancer, build a model, the other thing that's awesome about St. Jude is every family who takes their child to St. Jude, not only are they receiving medical treatment for free, but they're also basically taken care of start to finish. So they pay for the transport, the parents staying in a hotel, like food, like the parents think of nothing but the care of their child, and no expenses are accrued. So there has to be system for how did you fundraise? How did you train these professionals? What type of research were you doing? What is the treatment options? And so they have focused in on cancer, but these systems and this model they're using can be used in so many other areas, even if you just continue to focus on children. So that's the power of the BHAG. It's not that you are going to accomplish that BHAG all alone. It's more that you are going to push and persevere so that, just like St. Jude, you can change a statistic from a 4% survival rate to 94%, right? But if they didn't set their goals high, if they continue to just say, let's just treat this one thing, let's just do this thing well, let's just do this, versus like thinking big and understanding we are making an impact, they would never have hit that 94%. So that's what I want you to start thinking of. What is it that I can do? And when you think of a BHAG, let me break this down because I don't want you to be confused. And so here are kind of the steps, if you will. All of us create goals, right? So we all have a goal. I want to accomplish this, or this is what I want my business to do, or this is what I want my life to look like, right? So we create a goal, and most often you can create a short-term goal and a long-term goal, right? But for the most part, this is just a statement of saying what you want to accomplish. Next is developing your goal statement. I did a win the day on goal statements. I want you to check it out. It has 6 elements on how to create a goal statement. But that goal statement describes what you're going to achieve in about a 3 to 5 year time frame. And it really describes what it feels like to receive or to achieve that particular goal. So think of a student who's graduating high school and making a goal statement for what it's like to take their first job after graduating college. Like, think of it that way. And what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go post college. But they write that goal statement at the beginning of college or the end of high school to set the goal. Your BHAG, though, takes it a step further. This is more of a 10 to 25 year goal. This is something that when you say it, you're just like, I don't know if I can really get that done. And you definitely have to know you can't get that done by yourself, right? So the thing about a BHAG, and for anybody just joining or you need the reminder, it's your big, hairy, audacious goal, right? It was just a term created, but it really helps you to understand, how can I visioneer my business goals? How can I set the trajectory for my life or my business in this big way? Right? It's not about the individual goal that you're going to accomplish in 3 months, 1 month, or this week. This is, where is my company going? Where is my life going? Where do I want? What is this big thing that if I can achieve this, it will make so much impact and influence on the world, on my community, wherever your target is. I want you to be thinking so much bigger than yourself. That's what a BHAG does. So you have your goals, you create your goal statement, but bigger than that is this BHAG, right? So what I want to share with you are a few ways that you can create a BHAG for yourself, because I want you to do that. I want you to start opening your mind and thinking bigger about what you are able to create. Because what it does is pull you out of that rut of, I'm just doing this one thing, I'm just getting these few things done. No, you have a mission. You have a bigger purpose. You have to me, your BHAG is going to spark your creative juices. It's going to stimulate your momentum. It's going to cause you to be excited again. It's going to cause you to feel adventurous, right? The whole point of the word audacious was to tell you that you're going to take bold risk, right? So far, let me hear, now that you know what a BHAG is, have any of you ever created one? Have you ever sat down in your life or in your business and created these big, hairy, audacious goals? So if you can share your BHAG, I would love to hear it. Otherwise, just say, yes, I have created BHAGs, or no, I've never created it. And we're about to talk about 4 different types of BHAGs that you can create so that each one of us can walk away understanding how we're going to apply this to our life. So let me see. I have a new setup going on, so I have to look at my computer. And that is not it. Really, really, computer. Okay, well, I'm trying to find it for y'all. I can't. Ultimately, I'm just going to share a few points on how you can create your BHAG, and I will try to put a. Oh, here it is. So, types of BHAGs. The thing that I want you to understand is not everybody's BHAG is going to look the same. There's no requirement on how you create it. The requirement is that it excites you. It makes you feel like you're working for something bigger. And ultimately, it creates, when you communicate this BHAG, other people should want to join in, right? So, like St. Jude, no child dies in the dawn of their life. Like, yes, I'm in on helping with that, right? So I want you to understand that this is a statement that you're going to create. This is you visioneering the bigger picture and the trajectory of your business. And there's 4 different ways. So one, you can have a targeted goal. So that means that you're going to create your BHAG around a specific like quantity or quality that you're trying to get to. So Walmart, in 1990, they created a BHAG that said to become a $125 billion company by year 2000. So they gave themselves 10 years to become a $125 billion company. I'm pretty sure they hit their mark. So that is a targeted goal where you say the actual amount or whatever the quantity is and the year or the deadline by which you are trying to get that done. The next is a competitive BHAG. So this is you competing with your competitor. You saying, I'm going to have this over this person, right? So Honda, 1970, said, I can't even read this, but Yamaha Woo something. And it means we will destroy Yamaha. So Honda decided we're going to destroy Yamaha. So clearly Yamaha had them beat in the industry in 1970. And I think because it's listed in this article, they were able to accomplish their BHAG. So the thing is, they didn't put like a deadline on this. They just knew I'm coming to be better than Yamaha. Next is a role model, right? So you're going to mimic the traits of another successful company outside of your competition. So, this sport company, Gyro Sport Design, in 1986, they said they're going to become the Nike of the cycling industry. So clearly, what they were saying is Nike has kind of taken over athletics or whatever industry that Nike is really, really taking over, which is definitely more in the athletic realm. And they're going to do that same thing in the cycling industry. So it was saying, I'm going to be this thing in my own industry. So that's a role model. And then finally, internal transformation means that you're going to focus internally on your own transformational changes. And so you are going to focus on like how you and your company will be very different. So Rockwell in 1995 said, transform this company from a defense contractor into the best diversified high technology company in the world. Right? If they had left out in the world, then it would have just been a goal. But adding on the in the world, like adding on that bigger element, I'm competing with every other diversified high technology company in the world. And I know I'm starting here as a defense contractor. So they decided we're no longer going to just be here, but we're going to be here in the marketplace and the best in the world. So I've shared a targeted goal where you had, here's what I'm going to accomplish by this date. I think those are very, very powerful because it gives you a deadline. You must make sure that you can measure this by some way. Any BHAG needs to be something you can measure, right? You can also think about your competition, like being better than someone else. Maybe someone else has been the lead in your industry for a very long time, and yours just like Honda wanted to say, I will destroy them. You can mimic a role model, or you can do internal transformation. So those are just a few ideas of how you can create the BHAG. But what I want to make sure you walk away with is making sure you're asking yourself this question. If I had zero obstacles, limitations, limits on resources, zero limits on finances, what would I accomplish? Where would I put my energy? Where do I want to see the most impact? Where can I have the biggest influence? That's the question. That's the one question that will give you the answer of your BHAG, this big, hairy, audacious goal that you're saying, I want to achieve this within the next 10 to 25 years. When you create this BHAG, I want you in your brain to be thinking, oh, this is so big, I can't do this alone. This is so big that right now where I sit, the knowledge that I have, the resources that I have, I think this is probably only 50 or 70% doable, right? Especially when people say in the world, like you have expanded your market, you've expanded your competition and who you're comparing yourself to everyone in the world, right? But clearly you don't know how to do that today, and that's what makes it a BHAG, that you're going to have to learn, stretch, grow in order to get this accomplished, right? So does this feel like it's only like 50 to 70% achievable? Because honestly, if you create a BHAG and you already understand how you can get that done, it's not a BHAG. A BHAG definitely has to scare you. When you say it out of your mouth, you're like, oh gosh, I said this, people are gonna look at me crazy. Then you're on the right track. You're on the right track to making your BHAG, to creating your BHAG. And the last thing I'll tell you is it has to be a clear and compelling statement. It should evoke some type of emotion. It should be clear. People shouldn't have to be confused or think about it too much. Like I share with St. Jude, no child dies in the dawn of life. Like, that's clear. I'm trying to keep children alive. And Bill Gates, a computer on every desk in every home. That was clear. So I want you guys to be thinking of that. Stretch yourself. You are worth it. Your company's worth it. But ultimately, I want to shake you out of doing the same thing all the time. I want you to get out of the rut of the everyday and start thinking bigger about the impact that you can have long term. You can do this. Companies do it all the time, and you are no different. So visionaire where you want your company to be, where you want your life to be, and ask yourself, what would I do if there were no limits? What impact would I want to have? What difference do I want to see in the world? And that becomes your BHAG. So definitely share that with me. If you're in the private Facebook group, share it there, create a post, let me know what you're thinking. And it's one thing to create it and to write it in your own notebook, but it's another thing to share it out and to start saying, this is what I'm going to put my energy behind. You never know. You'll share it in the group and maybe find other women who are working on a similar BHAG. And there you are. You're building partnerships and collaborations right there. So thank you guys for joining me. Write those BHAGs. I want to hear about them And if you join me and this was helpful, put helpful in the comments. Thank you guys so much. And I will be with you on Tuesday, Thursday for Win the Days. Thanks for watching this and write those BHAGs. Y'all have a great day. Bye.